The Army base at Fort Monroe in Southern Virginia. This has been a military installation for about 188 years. Now, the citizens of Hampton Roads know how special Fort Monroe and the Old Point Comfort Peninsula are. This is where the very first slaves were traded for food in 1619 in our country. It became a pathway to freedom during the Civil War when three brave men sought asylum at its doors. Robert E. Lee and Edgar Allan Poe served at the fort. Harriet Tubman was a nurse at the hospital, and Chief Blackhawk and Jefferson Davis were imprisoned there. Now, the citizens who cared about Fort Monroe attended a public hearing. They were going to hear about the future plans for this special place. They were appalled at the plan that was revealed to them. It was intense development, 3-story office buildings, thousands of residential units to cover the peninsula. And that evening, this band of citizens sat down and decided to form a statewide organization to convince the rest of us that there should be a national park in Fort Monroe. This group was small, but they were and still are relentless. They talked to anybody, state, local, federal. They collected thousands of signatures on petitions. They worked with the media, getting great press coverage, letters to the editors, editorials. They attended every public hearing and every stakeholder hearing they could, and they brought hundreds of people with them. And when times got tough and the Virginia Assembly started to meddle in the future of Fort Monroe, they dug into their own pockets not once, not twice, but 4 times to hire a part-time lobbyist to shepherd Fort Monroe through the legislature. Last November, President Obama used the Antiquities Act to declare Fort Monroe a new national monument. We were able to get 324 of the 565 acres protected in our new national monument. The president of the citizens group, Mark Monroe, was in the Oval Office when the president, surrounded by, no offense intended, but surrounded by a lot of legislators. And I was thrilled at the end when he looked right at Mark and said, "I especially want to thank the private citizens who made today possible." But this group is not resting on their laurels. They still have big plans for Fort Monroe. It's a partnership park, and there's a lot of work to be done. We have the Starport, we have the North Beach, and they have their eyes set on getting a green corridor to connect the two. We are very lucky to have a good contingent of the citizens for Fort Monroe National Park here tonight. President Mark Monroe and his wife Karen, Billy Eisenheld, Alex Gould, Jane Yerke, Scott and Susan Butler, Phil and Jennifer Adderley, Joanne Berkeley, Monica Malone, Adrian Whitcomb. I'm really, really pleased to have in our midst Jerry Holland. Jerry Holland's great-great-grandmother was one of the slaves who escaped to Fort Monroe. And she is not only a member of the citizens group, as are the Aggerleys, but she's the founder of the Contraband Society. And we're so happy you're here. And we're so happy you're here to see for a new park. Their absolute refusal to hear the words no, and their relentless determination, NPCA is so honored to present the Marjory Stoneman to the citizens of Fort Monroe National Park.
Thank you so much, Pam. We are just blown away when we heard we were going to be selected for this award. The name Marjory Stoneman Douglas itself is just awesome to me. As a young high school student in Florida in the late 60s, when everything, the ethic of Florida then was almost anything but conservation. And then to look at the map and see that vast swath of green in southern Florida, comprising Everglades National Park and the Big Cypress National Preserve and so on. And to think what she had to go up against to build alliance that could make that initial park grow to the extent it has is awesome. And we are very humbled to win this award. Not only that, but also we know how many citizens work for the other 395 national park units, and the affection and the passion they put into that work. And all we can think about this is as a tribute to Fort Monroe and its great specialness. And we're deeply grateful to the National Parks Conservation Association. It was only after people like Joy Oaks, Pam, Alan Spears, Natalie Ramirez got fully engaged in this process that things started happening, and we're very grateful to this organization for what they accomplished, because there would be no Fort Monroe National Park without the NPCA. And I would be remiss if not to pick up on Pam's point about there's more work to be done. You all understood instinctively from the beginning what we felt is that Fort Monroe is freedom's fortress. It's a great repository of our nation's history, but it is also has the duality of being a great strategic natural landmark at Old Point Comfort on the Chesapeake Bay. And we were successful in preserving 224 acres of that natural splendor as well as the fort. And we have the opportunity to link the fortress and the 224 acres of natural lands into a unified whole that can be a great treasure for our urban area, Hampton Roads, and the nation. And we're working very hard as a process for the state lands continues in the coming months. The state will manage it as a partner, but we hope that the park can grow to unify its two areas and still allow the state the ability to make sufficient revenues to make the remainder of the state lands self-sustaining, and at the same time make it even more of a national treasure that it is. Thank you all very much. Adrian, did you want to? Adrian Whitcomb, one of our board members, has written a very short